For the fifth place match, final match, we got Marcos Chavez and Luis Cordova. Cordova, 1 or 2? It's 1. It's actually 2. Marcos will be serving.
You heard the announcement there. Referee
Good
getting
luck,
Marcos
gentlemen.
Chavez into the server's box here, going up against Luis Cordova. It's the WPH race for 8 in New York. Stop number 6, men's 9th place.
Short ball and
Excuse me, 5th place match here.
Second serve.
I made the same mistake that the referee made
Hold
when
it,
he made the
replay.
announcement.
Right behind you.
I shook my head when he did it.
It was right behind you.
Now I feel it's completely acceptable for some reason.
0 serve 0. Side out.
It's a 1-game match to 25 here.
0 serve 0.
Do these ranking points help Marco Chavez for Salt Lake City, or is it just confirmed already that he won't be in the top 8?
Yeah, he will not be in the top 8 for Salt Lake City, but a win in this match, and then based on how he does in Salt Lake City, could determine whether he finishes the season.
In
It
the
could
bonus,
come down.
right.
It could come down to.
Do you think that the points that
0.5
that differentiate himself and Vic Perez are like fractions of points?
Well, I think it's going to be, depending on this match, either 2 or 2.5 points.
Point.
So it will make a big difference because they're going to play each other in the round of 16 again
2 serve 0.
in Salt Lake City. The winner of that is going to get at least 1 more point.
Right.
Based on how the playoffs go. And then you also have to factor in, you only count your best 5 out of 7, so it might not even count for one of the other players. You throw out your 2 worst.
3 serve 0.
Luis Cordova 3 and 2 lifetime
Bad bounce to the front.
against
Replay 3
Marcos
serve 0.
Chavez. Last time these guys played was in Atlanta, Dave. That was in the 5th place semis.
Point.
Luis Cordova winning that match. First stop of this season.
Yep. 4 serve 0.
Not a good start here for Marcos.
Told me that he was a little sore stepping into the court here to warm up. And I said, just getting old or getting sore? And he said, no, I'm sore. I'm not old. Good philosophy there. Or at least outlook. Dave, after tournaments that you've played, not I wouldn't say these last couple tournaments, but this one, when you were rolling in the top 2, maybe even after Vegas, when you get back home, were you sore at 40, making it to the semifinals?
No.
Really?
Hold it, replay.
It's amazing
5
how well you guys can keep.
You know, I used to get so sore when I was a teenager playing these pro events. I mean, I couldn't move.
Point.
I can remember being 17 or 18, and I just could not move for 2-3
6
days
serve 0.
after a tournament.
So it's about how you warm your body down, how you eat, your diet, how you prepare for the tournament, what you do afterwards in order to keep it from those things from
Maybe,
happening.
because I didn't do much then.
Point. One serve 6.
Seems like Marcos plays on Sundays as much as anyone in the history of the race. He's either playing for 9th or 5th or the senior final, or somehow he's involved on Sundays, sometimes in 2 matches on Sundays. Luis Cordova is another one, Dave, that always seems to be involved on Sundays. Luis has made 1 final in his career. That was in Salt Lake City last year.
Now his brother making his final appearance.
Right.
8 serves 1.
These guys hanging out last night just about 9 hours ago in the Killers Club, both with Really nice suits. Talking handball.
Point. 2, serves 8. Short ball. Second serve. Side out. 8, serves 2. Side out. 2, serves 8.
Marcos is looking forward to not only the Players' Championship, Dave, he'll go for a repeat of his senior race for 8 title, but also he's looking forward to the Worlds this summer, playing open doubles with Sean Lenning, trying to win that. That would be a great story.
It really would be.
Side out. 2, serves 8. Side out. Eight, serves 2.
Dave, I believe there's a women's third place match scheduled. Don't see those women on the court, though.
Yeah, it should have started at 9:45, I believe.
Yeah, that's the time that I saw as well.
8, serves 2. Point. Nine, serves 2.
Remember, Dave, Marcos was one swing from being in the semifinals here in this event. Had match point on Vic Perez yesterday. 14-13 in the third game. And did not close that match out.
Yeah, that's
2, serves 9.
Such a huge.
And, you know, it's not just this season that, you know, that point might keep him out of the top 8,
Side
which
out.
it likely will. Those points go into next season, where you
9,
now
serves
have a
2.
huge edge for the whole year. You've got those 6 points on your scorecard for 12 months.
So frustrating. I felt bad for him, but he handled it well.
He handled it better than I handled it for him. I did feel bad for him. I would have felt bad for Vic also, though.
10, serves 2. Side out.
Those ranking points, Dave, will keep you up at night in a cold
2,
sweat.
serves 10. Short ball. Second serve.
Talking to Dave Munson last night, Dave, who's starting to break in now to that top 15 for the first time. Said all he thinks about now are these ranking points. So upset that he lost in overtime yesterday to Steve Cooney. That cost him a full ranking point because he would have had a forfeit today.
Right.
So that's
10, serves 2.
that's a big difference. That affects his seeding in Salt Lake City. Now in Salt Lake City, Dave, you go straight by the rankings. So say the second ranked qualifier is going to play the number 7 seed. And you'd much rather play the number 7 seed, I think, than play the number 4 seed. And that's the difference between 1 or 2 ranking points.
12-2.
12-2 here, 1 game match to 25. This is for 5th place. And then the women's pro final will be next.
Side out.
See Marcos kick his foot up in the air there to try to get into the perfect position to strike that ball, and then he hit it soft.
2-12.
I thought he was really going to lay into it.
Short ball.
That was close.
Marcos has not been
Second serve.
himself on Sundays in the last 3 events. We've seen Marcos and always marveled at how does he do it. He's just still playing so well on Sunday, but the last, you remember Houston, Dave, not himself on Sunday. Las Vegas, not himself on Sunday.
Side out.
But this is a guy, Dave, that's owned Sundays. 9 senior race freight titles, won a number of 9th place finals on Sundays.
Right.
So I'm not going to say it's
the other side of the mountain.
It's a trend.
Yeah.
But it's.
Well, one thing I could say is that match that he played against Emmett Peugeot in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's the difference maker for me, because that's about as good as I've ever seen him play, and that was just a couple months back.
Right.
So he certainly has that in him, and that's late in the tournament too. That wasn't like that was a first or second round. That's a playoff match. 1 game to 25. And that was really an amazing spectacle.
Side
really.
out. 2 serves 12.
Right now, though, Marcos is playing like the referee sounds. Not very good.
12 serves 2. Point. Thirteen serves 2.
Lot of unforced errors here for Marcos Chavez with his right hand.
14 serves 2.
Now Luis Cordova looking to go into halftime with a huge lead.
Halftime.
We're going to take a break as well.
Yeah.
They're going to get a half. We're going to get a half. It's not 3 minutes, it's 4.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in just a bit. Stick around here at WPHLive.tv for the conclusion of this 5th place match. Welcome back to New York. Halftime is now over as Marco Chavez is looking to serve here to start the second half. Luis Cordova finds himself up.
All right, time's in.
Men's 5th place final is underway
15
here.
serves 2.
Going to 25, yet to win by 2.
Point.
This is the WPH Race for 8 New York stop. Number 6
16 serves 2.
of 7 with the Players' Championship in less than a month in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Point.
Now 17-2. Cordova looking to gather a
17,
couple more
serve
points
2.
as he heads into the big championship. Up next, it'll be the women's final between Katrina Casey and Susie
Point.
Kohler.
$18 serves 2. Point. Side out. Excuse me. 2-19. Oh, fuck. Excuse me. 2 serves 18. Point. 3-18.
Same score as the last time Marcos played on Sunday at the last event, where he trailed 18-3. But he will do at least one better here, Dave, as he's now crossed that 3-point threshold. Dave, you just get the sense that Luis Cordova is on the verge of a top 3 breakthrough.
Side out.
He was ranked 3rd earlier, right? But
yeah.
but tied with two other players.
Right.
18 serves 4.
So he is going to most likely be ranked number 6 after this tournament, which, Dave, if the rankings are what I anticipate them to be, it could be a flying Cordova quarterfinal, which would be a first
Side
in
out.
the history of the race where brothers face one another in the main draw. The Cordovas have faced one another 5 times, but always in the
4-18.
playoffs. It very likely could happen in Salt Lake City in the quarterfinals with a lot at stake there for both guys.
Right.
I can't remember a scenario where numbers 3 through 7
5-18.
could all finish number 3 in Salt Lake City.
Side out.
Not liking that. But those things happen.
Well, I don't know that there'll be
18
ties.
serves
There
5.
could be, but there could very well be 5 players finishing with a chance to finish number 3.
I get it. And that's where you look back at the end of the year and said, you know, if I just would have played that one playoff match in Missoula where I decided to take it off because, I don't know, I didn't want to play it, and that could have been the difference maker.
19 serves 5.
I'm sure some players micromanage that and they look back. There's a lot of ifs for that to happen. But that's what we say, you know, the race for 8 is where every point matters.
Point.
Yeah, you can't miss a point. You can't miss a point as a
20
viewer
serves 5.
or a player.
Yeah.
There's no points off.
So what's your point?
I don't have one.
Okay. That's a screen, no call, doesn't matter.
Point.
Marco's telling me at the half, I just don't have it today.
21 serves 5.
Never thought this was a good matchup for Marcos playing Luis. Look at that
Point.
shot. He's aiming for that wide corner kill from 37 feet.
I don't think Luis
22
Cordova is a good
serves
matchup for
5.
anybody.
Oh.
He's got everything you fear when you play a top player. He hits the ball hard. He's a get artist, doesn't get
Point.
credit for it. And he's going to push you around, which I
23
don't know
serves
of any
5.
player besides Killian Carroll that likes to run in the court.
The matchup I'd like to
Point.
see is Emmett against Luis Cordova, which rarely happens. They've only played once.
That would be a fun one.
Yeah, I'd really like to see that match.
Match point serves 5. Side out.
And Marcos is going to hang around here for just a little bit longer.
5-24. Point. 6, serves 24.
Marco sounds really sore.
Side out.
Wow. If Luis Cordova wins this point, Marcos will have lost his last 3 Sunday matches, all of those 1 game to 25
Match
matchups.
point, serve 6.
Wow.
Well, you haven't heard the score.
As match.
75-16. Marcos Chavez outscored on his last 3 Sundays.
Wow. 75-16.
That's right.
That's not good.
That's about a 6-1 clip, just loosely off the top of my head.
We'll turn the referee's microphone down as we now have this match in the books. That is that's pretty extreme.
25-7, 25-3, 25-6.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Well, we have another good one coming up, though. Katrina Casey is going to face Susie Kaler in the women's final, which will be right around the corner. Give us 10 minutes for that. We'll have more as the WPH Race for 8 continues. World Players of Handball, courtesy of WPHLive.tv. Stick with us.